And welcome back to part 5 of Celeste. This time we're going to enter the dark, mysterious Mirror Temple. One of the most recognisable locations of the game. Oh man, look at this place. Feeling adventurous? I don't know. It looks pretty dark in there. More like a nightmare than an adventure. I'll just take a quick peek, snap a few photos. This place must be ancient. Theo, wait. My Instapink followers are going to eat this up. There's no way this ends well. Yeah, this place sticks out to most people who plays its mind because the tone of this level is very different to the tone of the levels beforehand. Like, we've had some darker elements per se, with like the end piece of the hotel and the implication at the end of the last level, but this is the one that takes it on board in a new way. This is Theo's phone. Don't panic, Madeline. Maybe it just fell out of his pocket. I'll give it back to him when I find him. But this level can be quite unsettling if you're not expecting it. It's not horror by any stretch of the imagination, but this is probably the closest you're going to get to it in this game. And the music fits it perfectly. There's nice accompanying piano plays that's playing right now. Just, it does it so much justice to give this atmospheric feel of the level of just the peaceful piano, but it's not really I don't really know how else to describe it. It's peaceful, but it's played in an environment you know it isn't peaceful, so it makes it feel more atmospheric than it is. But I'll just I'll let it play in a second because I know this part coming up is a little annoying, so I want to make sure I do this first and then I don't mind. Come on. So I always mess it up on the way back. Yeah, play that. Oh well, easily done. Really? Because you're supposed to let it carry you back, so that's a lot easier to do it that way. Anyway, as I was saying, I'll let you listen to the music. It's just beautiful. I know I talk about this soundtrack and how much I love it quite a lot, but it's genuinely a very lovely track that they play for this part of the game. Come on. Yeah, and I am aware that took me a few more attempts than it probably should have, but whatever. I was enjoying the music, damn it. That one's easy to get, just use the momentum of the thing. These platforms only move when you boost, as you've probably noticed, they light up when you boost, they like react to you. Which is a little bit of foreshadowing that connects this place to us. But I won't get to that just yet. Ow. We will get to it in this level, don't worry. It's not one of those things that gets left hanging. It does get addressed in this level. But there is a reason why everything connects to us. And why there are mirrors and things that are left behind by Theo as well. There's things in this world in this place that resemble Theo as well. It's cleverly made for what it's trying to do at this part of the game. It's almost like a reflective part of the game of looking back on yourself. Well, as Madeline looking back on herself as well. And although there's another chapter in the game just after this that's a lot more focused on reflecting, this is a very good one to introduce it and start bringing in the idea of you need to think back on yourself and think what you're doing and how it's affecting the world around you. Or more importantly, how it's affecting yourself. The only thing that's really important up here is the key. You need the key, but there are a number of strawberries here as well, so of course I'm going to go for them first. If you decide to carry on going left here instead of going back on yourself. There we go. And it's with these red bubbles, you've probably noticed, unlike the bluish green one we had in the last level, these ones will carry on going indefinitely, so use that to your advantage to go between screens with it. Like so, to take you into new locations. That's what you'll be expected to do. Most of the secrets in this level, well, I say most, a number of them expect you to understand what I just did there. Ow. And so get used to just saying, well, if this bubble can't be used on this screen, what if it can be used on another? And if it really feels like the bubble has no purpose, try aiming it in a random direction, seeing if it goes through a wall. Because you can break through walls, but the bubbles will keep on going instead of bouncing off like you do if you break a wall. So it's always worth just trying out in a new direction if you're not sure. If you're looking for secrets, so you don't want to follow a walkthrough. So I managed to find almost every secret in this game without a walkthrough. The only ones I didn't were some of the crystal hearts, because they're way too cryptic. But outside of it, all the strawberries I managed to find on my own. And keep in mind, if those platforms are blocking your way in any way, shape or form, you can deal with them by boosting. See what happens when they boost, see where they go. You can see the outline of where they can go, like in the background. You can see the white outline sort of thing, like there. But once you've got the key, if you're not fast with strawberries, then you can return to this more central hub area and go through here, where the environment becomes much darker. And the music changes to become even more somber. But first, we finally found Theo, technically. Theo, there you are! Madeline, hey! Why are you inside a mirror? I'm pretty sure you're the one in the mirror. What happened? Well, I was taking a nonchalant mirror selfie. You know, it's your boy Theo in this ancient temple. No big deal. Hashtag blessed. Next thing I know, I wake up lying on the ground. What does it look like over there? How can I find you? It's really dark and weird. Wait, something's coming. I'm feeling a strong inclination to run away. Be careful, okay? But yeah, once you go into the second section, the piano fades away and becomes this more almost bubbly sound. I'm not really sure how else to describe it. It does a good job of making you feel like you're further into the temple, so things are quieter and more subdued, because now you're in the hub of it. You're not just in the entrance where it's a bit calmer. The option of retreating is still there. But still, the entire soundtrack, specifically for this area, does an amazing job at pulling you in my opinion. It's like some of the, not my favourite tracks, but some of the ones that I can't argue like the best composed for the situation are in this level, I feel. My favourite are some of the B-side tracks, if I'm honest, but the B-side we won't get to for a little while yet. Which I will be tackling all of them. I know I keep stating this, but I have to almost reassure it for myself that I will be doing them, because they are hard as hell. The only things I'm not doing are the C-sides, because some of them take hours. Well, some of them on my first round took hours, and I'm not really prepared to do it again. Especially because a number of them are already on my YouTube. It's just off videos that show my first successful attempt on them, sort of thing. Yeah, they probably wouldn't take me as long to do them this time round, but I'd just rather not, if I'm honest. Like, my thumb knew no pain until I've reached the other end of some of those levels. Because it's a 2D game, so I always use the D-pad to move. The only time I use the left analog stick is for very select things in this game we get to in the next chapter, and that's it. Any 2D game, I just feel a D-pad feels nicer. It feels more natural almost. I don't really know how else to put it. It's the same in fighting games. I don't see how anyone can play a 2D fighting game without using the D-pad. Like, people use the left analog stick. Like, what do you do? How do you do it? But then I get some people say arcade sticks. If you're not using an arcade stick, how do you play the fighter? So which I can understand as well, because arcade sticks are sort of considered the mouse and keyboard of the fighting genre. Like, it's called the necessity tool. If you're using it, you'll probably just do better. But I could never get the grips of an arcade stick anyway, so I was always stuck with the D-pad. And these red crystallized spikes, they are everywhere, but just be wary, because just because you can't go through them doesn't mean other stuff can't. If you have an item with you that you can throw or anything like that, it will go through. If there's any kind of threats chasing you, it can go through them. So just... oh, there we go. So just be wary. And there's some things like these spiky obstacles moving around. I think it's either the B-sides or the C-sides where they start going through them as well. So you have to really keep an eye on them because they will just find you otherwise. So if you take it right up. It also counts as a boost if you hit anything, so it's not just a matter of you'll go through walls and you hit it. If you hit a button, you will hit the button. You won't just kind of tap it like you would if you weren't boosting. Where this key's required for is to the door to our right, but we're not going to go there just yet. Instead we're going to come down here, because there's a number of other secrets down here, including the tape, which I want to get. I've yet to miss a tape, so I'm not going to start now. Which wasn't something I intended to do, it just sort of something that I stumbled into the idea of. I was like, well, if I'm doing all the B-sides, I should show how to get the tapes to unlock all the B-sides. But it is just down here, it's not too hard to get. Actually, I'd say it's one of the easier ones to get. Because it's a path you're naturally going to dive into, because this level encourages you to explore far more than any other so far. This is a very open-ended level. To be fair, it's also a very short level if you decide not to explore and just do the bare minimal. Because when you looked at it, like, the path to getting the key in the first area and the key in this area wasn't that long of a path. What's taking up most of our time is secret hunting. But this is the one here. I said this one's one of the easier ones to actually find. And you also have a telescope here so you can see the path ahead, because this one's a bit longer. But once you get past this initial block here, you should be fine. Because you have to time it so then the purple fades away as you approach, which is why there's a space. So you can make it all the way through to the blue. The rest of it is just simple timing of your platforming. You should be able to do it just fine. There we go. And then there's your tape. And like always, it will take you back to the start once you get your tape, so you don't have to worry about trying to escape. It's worth mentioning every single B-side has a section sort of like those tape sections I showed. But it's right at the very end. It's always the final hurdle, so it works effectively of telling you when you're on the last stretch. Because when you're on the last room or the last stretch per se, it will be using the record challenges of using the beat of the music to show when the blocks appear and disappear. Which I don't mind, especially if it's the last block of the B-sides, because you'll find out the hard way when you get to them. They're like the final breather. They're like the cooldown period almost. Because you've always just done the hardest thing, and then they give you that. And it's a lot easier than what you've just done. It is just almost like a cooldown. Like it warms you up, it gives you the main event, and then it cools you down. Which is something, actually, I can genuinely compliment about this. It's something that's quite common in film and books, to have like a cooldown after the climax, and a lengthy one at that. But this is one of the few games that does it as well. Like the cooldown after the main event is quite a long cooldown that slowly works its way to it. It's not this big huzzah final push final boss thing and then an ending cutscene or something like that. It does have a genuine cooldown period in this game, which I feel really works. I enjoyed that about this game. I won't be able to go into too much details because obviously we haven't got to the climax and we're still a number of chapters out from it, but it is something I do appreciate in this game, that they have a proper slow build with the climax. They don't just throw it at you and say, okay, bye. Also, what you just saw there was, instead of using the key the way we were supposed to, I went for a secret path hidden under it, followed it along, and there's an optional key back here. The reason why you want to get that one instead, and open this lock instead of the one that they throw at you, is because this takes you to the Crystal Heart. What it reminds me of is a game that I can imagine anyone who watches this doesn't know. It's a game on the DS called Deep Labyrinth. Deep Labyrinth is a stupendously underrated game in my opinion. Yeah, it's got a lot of problems, but I enjoy it quite a lot. And it's a nice little DS adventure game. But one of the things it did was there were secret walls and secret passageways you could find, like fake walls, sort of, I guess, to compare Dark Souls style, but not quite. But you could find keys, and like, if you found like one of them was like a brass key, and it would only open a brass door, and there was one that you were supposed to open in the main game, but then there was one right near the end of the game as well, but you only had the one key. So you was, if you wanted that special secret item from right near the end of the game, you had to get the key and then find the secret wall. And I just thought that was so cool. I enjoyed that so much. So I'm glad that something at least similar to that existed in this game. That's one of the games on my bucket list that I'd love to let's play one day, but that's on the DS, and I do not have a DS capture card of any kind. I wouldn't even be sure how to get one or know how it works, so I think that'll be a long way out yet. What this section is here, now we've been pulled into the mirror. Firstly, it's showing a almost tutorial for how these things work. I don't think they're ever named, they're just known as the things. But now we've been taken into a more horrific version of the Mirror Temple. We're on Theo's side of the mirror, and we can see how corrupted and dark the real Mirror Temple truly is. Hey, where are we? What did you do to Theo? You think I'm doing this? That's cute. Sweetheart, this is exactly what I warned you about. Don't try and make this my fault. You still don't get it? The mountain gave me this body, but I'm not the only creepy thing living up in that messed up head of yours. Don't you like what you see? What a surprise. Shut up! I tried to stop you. Looked into the mirror. All of this is yours. This temple only magnifies the mountain's powers. You're in control here, not me. I don't believe you. If you're part of me, why do you want to hurt me? Poor Madeline, always the victim. All I do is babysit you and you hate me for it. You're unraveling and you know it. If you care so much about protecting me, why don't you just explain what was going on? Like you would have ever listened. You never gave me the chance. Please, just help me get out of here. Now you want me to save you. Why are you doing this? Just be on my side here. Please. Stop trying to make me feel like a monster. You really want to know why I won't help you? Because you deserve this. Still think you can climb this mountain? Shut up! I don't need your help. I'll do this alone. Well, of course, now we're in the something unhuman and supernatural. Dark Madeline gets to play all she wants. And we're going to get introduced to quite a few things here. Firstly, all the crystallized spikes have become these more tentacleized spikes. Well, most of them have. There's still crystals here. And I just fucked myself. Okay, neat. And the music's come even more hostile, I think's the best way to put it. And now these things will be pursuing you for most of the rest of this level, if I'm honest. And they're, unlike the previous things that have chased us in the game, these things are relentless. They will not stop until they have you. The only things they can't get through are these walls almost made of lights. I'll show you what I mean when we get to them. If you see these more cragged stones, these red stones, if they go into them, they will break them, which you can use to your advantage to get to different locations if you know how to. But it can also be used against you, as you saw there, to destroy my footing. They will also trigger things like the blue panels to open doors if they go through them, because they count as a physical object and so will trigger them by touch. Also, when you jump on their heads, if you manage to jump on their heads, they won't be destroyed. They will almost be like reduced temporarily, and then they will explode, which if you're nearby will launch you, and if they're nearby anything that can be destroyed will destroy it immediately, and then we'll be back to pursuing you. These are the light walls I was on about. They can't go through this no matter what they try. They will always bounce off. So you can use it as your safety net. So there's a safety net down here. You can lure it and it'll just bounce off. So you hit them and then after a while they explode and they're immediately back on your case. And it's not even a long while either. Your reward for bopping off their head is an extremely short-lived reward. You really don't get much time. And even if they can't see you, like say you've got to put a few walls between them, like, as I'll be able to show here, it will just work its way to you anyway. Once you're in the room with it, it will just keep on coming for you. It won't wait. It'll just go for its mad charge when you're in its line of sight, when it's in its kill range. Once you get up here, you're temporarily free from them. If this is all in my head, why is it so hostile? Those things are hunting me. I'm a trespasser in my own world. Theo is trapped somewhere in here because of me. If I give in fully, maybe the temple will let him go. Breathe. This is all coming from inside me. Get up, Madeline. Think of the feather. You can save Theo. And so on we pursue. And I know I've mentioned it before, but anytime Madeline gets more and more anxious, it's represented in the music through the music becoming more synthesized. Which you've probably noticed how synthesized the music is once we entered this section. And it's about to once again fall to a very eerie silence when we got through here. Theo! Thank God I found you! Madeline! Wow, am I happy to see you! Are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine. I've just been stuck in this crystal thing for ages. Do you get the feeling this place knows you better than you know yourself? Yeah. I'm so embarrassed that you have to see this side of me. I tried to stop you. I hope that selfie was worth it. Selfies are always worth it, dude. I shouldn't be mad. This isn't your fault. I'm glad you're safe, but you're trapped because of me. And now this temple is showing you what I'm really like. I'm horrible. Hey, we're in this together. Don't act like this is all on you. What do you mean? You didn't trap me in this crystal. Sure, those monsters are coming from you, but the temple is shaping itself around me too. I can feel it. Those eyes are staring at me. And this crystal is coming from me, I know it. I hate to ask, but I really need your help right now. Okay, I've got your back. I'll bust you out of that thing and we'll escape together just as soon as I find my way around to you. Madeline, you're my only hope right now. I believe in you, for real. I hope that's not a mistake. If the temple is showing me who I really am, then I deserve this, don't I? Alex, you have to stop being so hard on yourself. Who's Alex? Sorry, I meant Madeline. But my comment still stands. No one deserves this, least of all you. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I can do this. And that was kind of what I was alluding to earlier. The temple itself, well, and Dark Madeline can do this as well, it magnifies what the mountain does in the first place, which is bring out your true self. And so it is magnified in a very negative way, unfortunately. So it's so the monsters and the look of the location is based around Madeline. It's the same reason why these blocks over here react to us when we dash, even though they shouldn't really, they just do. And it's the same reason why there are all those eyes staring at Theo, and Theo's trapped in the crystal. They're all related to something relating to his issues or his darker side. And his, if I remember rightly, like, they never go into detail about it. It's more focused on the fact that he's always trying to take pictures for his followers and things like that. He always wants to be seen. And so a crystal being almost a reflective product of that, like the reflection of a mirror or reflection of a camera lens, whilst all the eyes are all the people he wants to watch him, now getting reflected back at him in a more negative way. Whilst the monsters relentlessly pursuing Madeline, the two common theories are the representation of her anxiety is always weighing her down, or the representation of her depression always weighing her down, because she is a character that's suffering depression that the game will go a bit more into later on. But it is a thing, it is a matter that is present in this game. And the dark, moody environment equally could be a representation of her anxiety or depression. Or just her desire to escape the life she has. Because keep in mind, she just decided to climb the mountain on kind of a wanting to prove I can do it kind of thing, not a trying to prove to anyone else. She's doing it to prove it to herself. And it just happened to be not as nice as she expected it to be. With these monsters now hunting her down, now all inside her mind, with a dark side version of herself highlighting everything that's wrong with her at every turn she gets, and everything in the world just seemingly crippling her position. This place is really not the best place to go if you're in a dark mood, but then I guess some would argue it's the best place to go because it highlights exactly who you really are, for whether you want to see it or not, as the old lady said. There's 3 keys in this entire section. You only need 2. The third one is to get a strawberry, if you decide to get it. I will be getting all 3 just to show you how it is. But, yeah. Can I just boot? No, I need to actually boost up and then the platform slip under me. There we go. So you can get this under passage here and open that up. I think they kind of expect you to just dash straight, but it's easy to just dash diagonal to make sure you're safe for that bit there. Better safe than sorry. This platform's a bit bigger than the rest because you're using it as a launch pad. But you'd think with the lights pointing that direction there's a secret over here, but there isn't. And there's your second key because you already used the first one. And there's a third key next to it, so we have to go back round and find another platform to get round to it. And so we should be able to just... Oh, right, I'm here. Okay. Hang on. There was a drop point like through there. Didn't really mean to do that, but there was like a drop point through it. Unless it just vanishes once you go through it once. Alright, let's look around more down this way then. Yeah, I'll go this way instead. You see how the monster touched the key. Not the key, the blue switch, not us. And it still activated it. That's what I was kind of alluding to. This one you have to actually get the monster. No, not this one, it's the next room even. Yeah, this one. You have to get the monster to use it to your advantage. You need to first lure it to hit that for you. And the second one, you can't make that on your own. You need to jump up and bounce off the thing's head. Because when you bounce off it, just like with Oshiro, and just like with the snowballs, it'll give you back your boost if you do it. And of course the B side and C side expects you to master that. Don't try and boost straight up through the gap because it will crush you. I tried to do it for my first playthrough. It's like, oh, I'll probably be quick enough, and no, it just flattens you into the wall. You need to go slightly to the left and do it that way. The second key goes in here, and then you can ride the full thing because this is how it is. There's only 2 keys blocking it off. I said the third one is for a strawberry later on. So you just take it all the way through. And then down here is another key lock, where if you manage to get the third key, you can now go up and get this strawberry as well. And the monster will carry on going through the red spikes. Now you've been made painfully aware that it can. There we go. I don't think there's any... No, there's not. Okay. You can bounce off the thing's head to make it, but it gives you a crystal there, so you might as well just use it. Like one of those energy crystal things. And in this section, we need to get the thing to destroy the red block up here, so you can access the blue button, the switch, whatever it's supposed to be. Interestingly enough, if you die, that block stays broken, which I don't think any other block does, but... whatever. Theo, I finally found you. I knew you'd make it. It wasn't easy. Are those monsters really coming from inside me? Madeline, That's a valid question. I'll be happy to discuss how the monsters relate to your inner self. But right now, my inner self is real stick has been stuck inside the crystal. Oh, right. Don't worry, I'll break you out. Well, I guess I got him off the pedestal. Well, this is a solid start, but this crystal is like an expression of my negative psychic energy or whatever. Yeah, but how do we break it? If I knew why I was trapped myself in this thing, maybe I could bust out, but I don't. And I don't think I can get to the bottom of it while we're stuck in this nightmare dimension. I hate to say it, but we might have to. Theo, don't even think about it. I am not leaving you behind. Hell no! You better not leave me in this place. I was gonna say you might have to carry me. Oh, yeah, I can do that. It says hold L2, but I always hold R2, it works as well. Dang girl, you can lift. Alright, you got this. And now we've got puzzle solving, carrying Theo. Crushing it, that door didn't stand a chance. Oh, I hope you know how to do all these things. Things worth mentioning. You can, like, throw Theo, boost after him, and then catch him again. Ah, I nearly made it through the door. You can also throw him at enemies to try and at the things to try and bounce them off, and he will also weigh down on switches if you throw him onto them. Another one. Oh, come on. Oh. So it can also somewhat safety net you from the things, and all the eyes in the scenery will always be looking at Theo, not you. So don't think you're getting stared at. No, they're looking at Theo. If you look carefully, you can see their eyes are focused on just above where I am now, not on me. And they fixed their gaze onto it when I looked away. Oh. But this is a long old level when you're secret hunting. I'm aware I'm past the half-hour mark again. Oh. And the levels are becoming harder. You've probably noticed I've been dying a little bit more often in this one. The difficulty curve is a nice and smooth one. We haven't gotten to the next chapter just yet. Ah, come on, I was close then. Oh. There we go. So you can have Theo weigh down that switch. Like that. It's unnecessary because we're going over anyway, but you can do that. Oh. Oh right, yeah, this one. This is not the only real strawberry in this area, I believe. You have to jump off the enemy to get enough height to throw Theo into the switch, because Theo won't count towards the spikes. No, you're just showing off. He'll only count if he falls off screen to his demise, and if he falls like off screen to a demise or something like that, it will count it as a death on you as well. There we go. Theo saves the day again. You can wall jump, but you can't cling onto the wall whilst holding Theo. Theo is also affected by momentum, so keep that in mind. Ugh. But we're nearly there. And don't throw Theo prematurely through that, because I've had him get crushed in that block there a few times. This section, if I remember rightly, you have to use momentum to your advantage. Like you have to then now jump up. Yeah, because you can't quite reach the ledge above of it, so you have to kind of boost off like that. And so let's bring him back. So you have to throw him and then kind of jump. Oh, that was too soon. I was too late. You'd throw it and boost. Oh, not do that. Throw then boost. All right, there we go. I think this is the last proper room. We have to be close. I can feel it. Yeah, I think this is the last proper room. What I usually do is throw Theo through that bit there, so I don't have to worry about pressing the switch and working my way through the bottom like that. Also, if the monster taps Theo, it'll bounce off it like you just saw there. And now we're going to be hit by waves that can push you back, and it's a bit annoying. If you throw Theo and then immediately do the boost jump, you might be able to catch him again and get through this section faster, but I was never that good at doing that. I'm not that much of a speedrun strategist. When you bounce it off the eye, you'll be able to escape through the back exit of the Mirror Temple, thus ending the chapter. Because that was an adventure. But next time, we're going to start reflecting on our adventures so far. But until then... God, that's a lot of deaths. Until then, you guys take care now.